Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, I would like to show you how I will do another part detailed drawing, which is if you look in this bill of material. In the previous video, I've shown you how I do container detailed drawing. So in this video, I will do vertical shaft. So the drawing is number 2 and the material is also plastic. Okay, then I will add another add sheet here. So this a new sheet, and I will edit sheet format. So here I will change the title is vertical shaft. Alright, and for here material is plastic. The drawing is drawing number 2, and the scale, okay, for this vertical shaft I will use full scale, and please do not forget to fill in your name and also your section number. And alright, about this symbol of third angle projection, if you look in my previous video of container detail drawing, at the end of the video I have already made the correction of this third angle projection symbol, because previously the symbol of third angle projection is like this. So there is not a standard third angle symbol projection. So I have already changed this symbol of this third angle projection by flipping this image. So this is the right orientation of third angle projection symbol. Please take note of this. Alright, next thing, I will exit this sheet format. Then now I'm back in drawing mode. Okay, under the view palette here, okay, I need to browse my vertical shaft part file. Alright, now in the view palette we have all the views for this vertical shaft. Okay, for this vertical shaft, the best view orientation will be the front and top view. So I will drag the front view, and here I drag the top view, and also I will drag for the isometric view. Then I cancel it by press escape button. Let me bring this isometric view here, and I make it to shadow mode. And for this front view, let me change the scale to full scale. As already now is full scale, because if you see that in the title block we have scale, full scale. So this view I change it to full scale. Alright, this is the, okay, if you look in this front view, okay, for this vertical shaft I will not make it in section view, I just make it typical orthographic view. Okay, the first thing to do, I need to right click at this front view, the tangent edge, I make it tangent edge remove, so I have better outline of this front view projection. And also the top view also I make a tangent edge remove. Okay, another thing to check is that this front view, it should be shown hidden lines, since this is all orthographic projection. And okay, next thing is that we have to make a center line for this. So I will go under annotation, center line. I will select I can select the view. I select the front view, so Solidworks will mark all the center lines. But if we look at it, it's kind of like the center line is too much. Let me undo the center marks. So what I need to do, just a basic center line. I select these two lines. So what I need is just the major axis of this shaft. So this will be the main center line. Alright, our next move is that we have to put dimension to this vertical shaft. As I have mentioned to you about the previous part, which is the container, how we put the dimension to the container detail drawing. As I have mentioned, we don't put too much detail dimension since this is a plastic product. This is not a metal works, so it means that we don't have to put really detailed dimension, as long as the dimension that we put can describe about these parts, this vertical shaft, and also can explain the features of this vertical shaft. So what we need to do, only we put the main dimensions of this vertical shaft. Okay, so what I will do, I will add under annotation the smart dimension. So the first main dimension that I should put is the main height of this vertical shaft. So this circular icon, I will go to the right side. So I have this main height is there in this location. If you look, Solidworks will automatically detect the level from this first dimension to this closest object is about 2 letter heights. Okay, the next dimension should be the level of this arm. So under smart dimension again, I will go the first arm here. From here to this here, the level is, so I click at this icon to the right side. So automatically this main height will be shifted to the right. So let me click OK first, and let me drag the 6.5 over here. Then I go for 1 decimal point, and this one also to none. Alright, another thing to dimension is this thickness of this arm. So I can go, okay, I will go for here first, the level from the first arm to the second arm. So I will select this line and this line. So I will go to the right side here. This one must be none. Click OK. And the thickness of this arm also, we need to dimension it here to this line. Okay, sometimes if we cannot dimension the thickness, we can go, instead of line and line, we can go for vertex and vertex. So instead of line, this vertex and this vertex. So I will go to this left side, then I click OK. Then I have here 3, the thickness, and I go for none here. Okay, another thing is about the, okay, if you look here, we have the height of this pin. I need to dimension here the height of this pin from this line. Okay, let me use vertex instead of line. This point to this arch. Then I click to the left side. Okay, Solidworks will put, okay, if I drag it, sometimes Solidworks put it far to the left. Let me bring it okay here. Let me drag it so that it is in line with the first step. And this one I will go for only 1 decimal point. Hold on, only 1 decimal point. Okay, another thing to mention to you, this is not the height from the at the tip of this dome. So I will edit this, take note on this. I will select this dimension here. Okay, I want to put dimension from this level to the peak of this dome. So if you look the setting under the leaders here, we have first arch condition. Take note on this. I will go for max, not to the center of the arch. We'll go for max. So Solidworks will put the dimension 5 here. So 5 is the height, so I will put here none. Okay, so this will be the dimension, the height of this pin. And as I mentioned to you, we don't have to put really detailed dimension as long we have kind like a basic dimension of this. Okay, I already defined the level of this first arm to this arm, and the thickness of this arm already mentioned. And about the, okay, another thing about, I don't need to put dimension from the second arm to the third arm, since we know that this thing is equally distributed, uh, equally repeated in the number is 6, so I don't need to put it the dimension to the second arm to the third arm. Okay, the next dimension that I should put, hold on, is the, as I mentioned, we have to put the distance from the base to the end of the arm, since we need to know what is actually this. Remember, I do this by helix, so where the helix end will be, we need to know what is the limit of these repeated 6 arms here. So I need to put dimension from this level, from this point to this base. I go for the left side, then I click OK. Then we have 71.5 is our total length, the height of this, the most upper part, the arm number 6. Alright, the next thing will be, if you look here, we have a holes here. We have a holes. So for the hole here, I need to give the, okay, about the bottom hole also this bottom hole here also I need to give the dimension of the height of the hole. So I go to the right side. As you can see, we have 6.5 here and 10. Okay, 10 is the height, and I go for none. Okay, next thing is the diameter of this hole. From this line to this line, I go for the bottom icon. So this is none. Alright, and for the top holes, so we have the square hole at the top here. I will give the level of this square hole from this point to this line. I go for this left side. So as you can see, it's in line with the first level of dimension line. If we look here, we have at the top of this vertical shaft, we have a cutout surface here, a curved surface. So I need to put a dimension of this curvature. Then I put my dimension like this. So the radius is 17.08. Let me click OK first. Alright, please take note on this. So since if you look the dimension text of this radius dimension, the text is horizontal. We can change the setting here under the leaders tab. If you look here, we have custom text position. I check the box, so I will go for the first option where the text will be aligned. If I click at it, so our text of this leader of this radius dimension is aligned. Just let me drag this. Let me click OK first. I can drag this closer. So this kind of radius dimensioning is okay for engine drawing. I can put the dimension of the square holes at this front view. If I go under smart dimension tool, so this line and this line, so I put the position here. Okay, if you look at here, it is 7. So I will go for none for decimal point. Okay, another thing to mention to you, if you look here, because since we want to put the dimension, we want to explain that this is a square hole. So instead of just 7 here, okay, please take note on this. Under the dimension text, on the left menu setting here, under dimension tag, if I click before bracket dimension, I will put a symbol. If you look here, we have symbol, square symbol here. So the square symbol will be add before the dimension. So we have here square 7. So this one I put here times 7. So we have, so it means that this is a square hole 7 by 7. Okay, let me save my drawing file. Hold on. Okay, for the top view, I need to put the dimension of the main diameter of the shaft. So I just click like this. So I can go to the first quadrant here. So I have this. Okay, if now I have diameter 14. Let me drag a little bit like this. And this one to none. Then I click OK. Okay, the next thing I need to show the features. If you look, we have 3 arms here. If we actually there are 6 arms, so but from the top view it show 3 arms, and the division of angle is 120 degree. So I need to put the dimension from this line to this line. The angle is 120 degree. So let me adjust a little bit the position. I can go for like this. So we have the extension line. So this will be the angle between these 2 arms. Alright, the next thing is that, okay, I already gave the size of the hole. And okay, about, if you look here in the dimension of the top view, we have not put yet what is the diameter of the upper pin and what is the diameter of the bottom pin and the hole. So all that dimension can be put on this top view. So I can put dimension of this. We have at the bottom here, we have a hole here. We have the bottom pin there. If I go to this portion, it's stated that through, if you look, if I zoom in through radius 1, so we can change the text. If you look under dimension text here, instead of put through 1, I just delete that text, put radius 1, and this one must be none. So we have some basic text here, just radius 1 instead of through radius 1. Okay, that will be the bottom pin radius. About the upper pin radius, I need to put the dimension here. So this one also I do the same. The text we put just radius, and here to 1 decimal point. So this will be the upper pin radius. Right, about the thickness of this arm, we have not defined yet the thickness of this arm, so I need to put dimension from this point to this point. So I go to the right side and let me click OK. So this one, no decimal point. Let me drag text at this position. If you look my sketch, if you look on my sketch of the hand sketch of the dimension, the features of this vertical shaft, as shown here, the length of this arm is 15. So I need to put that features in this drawing. Okay, to do that features, it means, okay, please take note on this. I need to put the dimension from this center line to the end of this arch is 15. Okay, but if I do dimension, if I go for dimension from this center line to this arch, okay, if I use this it will use 12.56. If I go, as I mentioned to you, if I go for the let me click OK first. If I click at the dimension under the leaders, if I go, first arc condition is the center, so this one I will use center, but the second arc condition I will go for max. So but this maximum arc condition is does not show 14 shown 15, but it shows 14.56. If here I go minimum, it's become like that, so it will not do. So let me delete this dimension. So please take note on this. Since I need to give dimension from this center point to the end of this arm, actually this arm is kind of, we have a fillet radius here. Actually I must make a point here. Okay, before I do that, this dimension, let me delete this dimension so I have a space to put the length. So that dimension I will put somewhere else here, the diameter of the pin. Okay, I need to put, since this line, okay, I need to add a point. To add a point here, under sketch tab here, we have a point. Okay, let me just click any point here. So this will be the point. So this point, alright, okay, so this point, if I select this point, I will select this line by holding Control keyboard. Then I will make the relation coincident. So it means this point is in line with this edge. And also I select this point and I select this line. I make the relation to coincident. So the point will be pointed to, it means this line will meet at this point, also this line will meet at this point. So this point I will use as reference for me to do the dimension of the main arm length. So under notation, so I will go for smart dimension. So this center line to this point, then I go for this yellow icon. I just click OK, make this dimension driven, just click OK. So now the dimension it puts is 15. Okay, let me drag this one a little bit here. Yeah, the diameter here I have to put here again. The diameter here is radius 1.5 and 1 decimal point. Okay, the last thing to check, if we look here, I need to put dimension of this, the height of this bottom pin here, and also I need to dimension this inner thread. So if we go for normal view like this, it's kind of like too small. Okay, please take note on this. Okay, in Solidworks under dimensioning, if you look under drawing here, we can go for, if we look here in this sub menu of this drawing, here we have detail view. If I click at detail view, then I make a circle, then I bring the magnified view of this circle. So this is what we call the detail view. And okay, let me click OK first. This circle, this detail view, because this circle will be the portion that we need to focus on. If I click at the center point of the circle, I can move around here. If I bring my mouse to the circle, I can control the radius of the circle. Let me make it a little bit closer like this. And it means, okay, hold on, I click at the circle, I click at center point, I need to focus at this. Alright, so I can label this, it's not T, but so I can change it to A. Make sure it is capital letter. So this will be the magnified version of this detail view A here. So we have here detail A and the scale is to 1. So if I have this magnified version, so it's kind of like easy for me to do dimension in this view. So I need to do dimension, since I need to put dimension of the thickness of this pin. So I can go for dimension for this line. I can go for this side, and let me click OK first. So I bring here 0.5 and 1 decimal point, and also I need to give dimension of this thread. So this is an inner thread. So under annotation, the dimension I will put dimension for the major diameter. So I will go for this line and this line. So I will go for the bottom side. Okay, if we look here, it put the dimension tag is diameter 1. So in engineering drawing, we cannot put this dimension for thread, inner thread. So under the text here, okay, before that I go for none here, no decimal point. So I need to replace this diameter by metric thread. So if we look under the dimension text here, we have mode diameter. So that mode diameter will be deleted. I delete it. So what I will put here is capital M, M1. So 1 is the major diameter of this inner thread, and 1 and the pitch is times, hold on, X times the pitch distance. The pitch distance of the thread is 0.5. So this is how we dimension the metric thread. So then I click OK. So now we have dimension the inner thread and also with the thickness of the pin. Right, another thing to mention here, since they put the label here, detail A scale to 1, and also let me drag here, I put extra note here. Okay, I click at note, then I put the note here, then I need to type 6 arms for blades. Okay, basically we have some description to explain about this vertical shaft. So we have 6 arms for this vertical shaft. We have 6 arms. Alright, I think what else? I think that's all for this vertical shaft detail drawing. I hope by looking at this video will help you with your vertical shaft detail drawing. Inshallah, if I have times, I will do the next video for the other parts. Okay, selamat maju jaya. Before that, please do not forget to click like and subscribe my video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.